How do you get published in the New York Times? That's a question I never even thought to ask several years ago. Since then, I went out on a ledge and I pitched the New York Times, and I've now been published there 3 times. I want to let other people know, other writers know, that that is possible for them too. So I'm spilling some of my secrets for getting published in the New York Times here today with you on YouTube. Click subscribe, hit like, and let me know what section in the New York Times below in the comments you would like to be published in. The thing is, most people feel like the New York Times is for the big time. They don't even consider pitching it, but the reality is that the Times is one of the most opportune places for freelance writers to be published. Why is that? Well, it's because they have so many sections and they have so much to cover and so much to publish that they're looking for those unique, different story ideas and perspectives. And because they have so many editors and so many sections, there are a lot more opportunities. Plus, at a place like the Times, they usually give you some really good and specific submissions guidelines, and sometimes specific and individual editors will send them out individually, what they want themselves, like not even the paper itself, but them, the basics. Pitching the New York Times, it starts with the pitch, the art of the pitch, and not a pitch to the New York Times, but just a pitch. Do you know how to write a decent pitch? I'm going to give you 6 things that you might want to put in your pitch to the New York Times. Number 1, a solid and enticing subject line that begins with freelance pitch : and then something that's going to make them want to read further. What's going to draw them into your email? Something curiosity driven. Number 2, a personal opening. Hi, Jessica, comma, going on with your pitch. You don't need to get formal about it. They're just people. Just say hello even if you've never met them. Number 3, a powerful and interesting first sentence that encapsulates your thesis. So the very first sentence of your pitch after the "Hi, Jessica" should be the most important or fascinating or compelling piece of your pitch that's going to make that editor want to know more, that's going to make them see this could be something that we want to publish here in the Times. Number 4, 1 to 2 short paragraphs containing your angle, evidence, and the purpose of the piece. You don't want your pitch to be too long. You don't want to write the piece before you send it, but you do want to have enough information in your pitch that shows the editor that you have the evidence, you have the information, you have persuasive piece of this that's going to make it an actually good piece. Number 5, 1 line showcasing why you are the right person to write this piece right now. So one of the key parts of how you land a pitch is by convincing the editor why you are the right person to write the piece, whether that's because of your background, your expertise, your personal experience, and why the piece should be written right now. What is timely or culturally relevant about your idea at this moment in time? And lastly, sign off with 2 links to your recent work. So if you've written freelance any time recently, you can say you can read some of my recent work here and here. If you don't have things you want to share or you don't even have anything, that's fine. Just leave it off. Not that big of a deal. So what are editors at the New York Times seeking to publish? Well, like all editors, they're seeking great stories and great writing. There are a ton of sections you can pitch, and every single one of them has a different vibe and a different way of being. And every editor is different too. That's the cool thing about the different opportunities you have with editors, that they're all different. And you can get to know some of those editors by finding them on Twitter or looking them up on LinkedIn to sort of get a sense of who they are and what they like to publish. They're seeking interesting and relatable stories, personal stories with cultural themes, heterodox takes on major trends, and fascinating stories with universal appeal. That's the important thing. It's not about you, it's about the reader. So the best way to figure out what they want, read what they've already published. Head over to the New York Times, pick a couple of sections, scroll back a few months, pick 3 to 5 headlines or stories that you think are interesting and read them. Read them all the way through and see sort of the things that stick out to you, the way the headline was written, the way the lead was written. Then take some of your ideas and try to package them in a way that might be able to fit into this kind of storyline that they have published here. And the way that they do it in that section is the way that you can replicate it in the way that you pitch it. So like most newspapers, and this can go for any newspaper, they have sections on food, travel, art, entertainment, politics, all of these things. There are dozens of ways and dozens of stories and approaches to getting your work published in the Times. You do not want to pitch the Times at like a submissions at New York Times email inbox. That's probably not going to get you anywhere. The best idea is to figure out who is the editor of the section you want to publish in and to go find their email address. This is not that hard, but people find it a little mysterious sometimes. And so you can find those email addresses by searching Twitter, by searching LinkedIn, by searching the masthead. There's a couple of different ways you can do it. Some are easier to find than others. But one thing I've done is I have created a master list of section editors and their contact info for you inside my mini course, Secrets of Getting Published in the New York Times, where I deep dive far more into how you can get your work published, how you can find a story that works, and how to pitch. So in this mini course, which I am linking below in the caption, you will find top tactics and strategies for coming up with sellable ideas, real New York Times pitches that sold, mine, all 3 of them, you'll get my pitches that sold, a full list of updated section editor names and email contacts, and examples and inspiration of actual pieces that sold inside a variety of New York Times sections for inspiration. This is awesome and invaluable if you want to get published in the Times. It is totally worth it if you're working towards that goal. I have priced it accordingly so anybody can get it if they're looking into this. And I think you're really going to get a lot out of it and a lot out of the experience that I have of working with the Times to take that knowledge and use for yourself. So if you want to skip the hardest work and get to the good stuff, purchase that course. Otherwise, please subscribe to my channel. My name is Ericka Andersen. I'm a freelance writer and coach, and I'm here to help you pitch your writing, get it published, and get paid for it. So check me out. I'll see you next time.